It's definitely not a guarantee, but it does make it the majority of women that have fathers turn out to be okay. I mean, we tend to focus on the minority because the people in the minority are always loud. You know what I'm saying? The squeaky wheel gets the oil. So the women who didn't have fathers, or the women who have fathers and now, at 40 years old, took 2 or 3 miles of dick in their life and can't find a husband now, they the ones that, talk about this type of stuff. The women that have fathers growing up and they're okay now are married with, with families. So they're not even participating in these types of conversations.
All right, I like to say one thing.
But
So I
I
would
think,
say,
it's
oh,
the thing with the having the fathers. They understand how men talk. They understand how we respond and how we react. Can we be a little harsh at times? Yeah, we can. But they also know we're going to come to them with love, and we're going to make sure they understand that at the same time. It's not just going to be strictly pounding, harsh talk, demeaning, insulting type conversation. No, we're gonna show you love, but it's gonna be some tough love. Now you may not be ready to receive it now, but you're gonna appreciate it later, because when you get a husband, you might have them save conversations. So now you know how to respond and react to the man instead of going straight left and get all in your feelings and everything. So that's one of the benefits of a woman with a father figure. Look, I wouldn't. I didn't date. I didn't marry no woman who didn't have a father or father figure in her life. I encouraged my son to do the same. Nephews or nephew, as well as some of his cousins and my cousins. I all told them, don't deal with these women that ain't got a father, because they crazy. They are literally crazy, because you can see how they act and respond. They don't know what accountability is. They don't know how to receive a certain uh, conversations with a man. You see, they straight go left. That's because they have no respect for men at all. Because their father was more than likely wasn't in their life. They had no father figure in their life, and so how they act, they react how they see their mom act. Because she didn't have no man to demonstrate with. So hell no. My bad, Sherman. I didn't mean to cut you off, big brother.
no, 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 you good. I mean, I would say that finding a woman that loves her, if she loves her father, that's what's most important. If she loves and respects him, she will know how to love and respect other men. You can't just be present. He has to be respected, he has to be loved, and he has to be honored as well.
I think a lot of the issue too is honestly, regardless of a lot of them having a father or not, we gotta look. Feminism is in the schools warping their brains before they even get old enough to figure out anything. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really it's a pandemic of it. And I see it all the time where you have to go and reprogram some of your daughters. You know what I'm saying? And some of these women before, like they may have had great fathers coming up, but what happens when those fathers are gone, right? You know what I mean? They tend to sometimes they get stuck off in church and feminism, and that can hurt them. I'll tell you that right now. That can hurt them.
Damn, what's wrong with church?
How, if you want to find the most single women, where you gonna go?
Church is full of some dick eating demons.
Hey, hey, Willie on one tonight, man.
No, I'm not being funny, bro, but we're not gonna sit here and act like we don't all have a eater in our history that was raised in the church and was there on Wednesdays and Sundays. But on Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, she was throat goating for the Lord. So like, I'm just being honest. And it's everybody. It's not a lot of people that go to church. No way. The kids who was raised there, the women that were trying to get saved, want a fresh start because they had a lifetime of poor pussy management. And you know what I'm saying, taking all this extra dick. They kids, and then dudes who are trying to pray to love a dick out of their heart. That's all that's in church. So of those four groups, there's two of them full of women.
You said dudes trying to pray dick about it. Wait, what?
The guys that are trying to pray to love a dick out of their hearts.
Oh,
Ooh. Hey, Darwin, did you were you able to listen in on this to be able to jump in?
Yeah, it sounded like we talking about women and I guess not being qualifying partners or whatever, something like that, so to speak. I'm gonna take a different direction with it since we got a bunch of men on here. This is an opportunity to do the things that we typically don't want to do, and that might be just look in the mirror. I would say a large group of the women that we want to marry have been contaminated. It had something to do with us not being selective with who we want to be undisciplined sexually with. And this is something that I brought up on a Thursday show with me, Trev, and M. White. And we were talking about leaving the women who want to be mothers and wives intentionally alone. And just, if we want to be reckless, utilize the longest business that in history, and that's harlots. Some people might not want to do that, but if you look at it, it makes sense. If we would go and exercise our options over there, instead of finessing the women out that actually want to be a mother and a wife, and we can keep when it's time for us to settle down and find a wife, we have a group of women that haven't been touched or touched as much. So we have a healthy population of women that are suitable.
Yeah,
So,
that sound
Darwin,
like some bullshit right there. Most of these heifers are prostitutes any goddamn way, whether you want to believe it or not. They prostitutes. They do whatever. If they just want to go after you, just eat. She's selling her time for some cash or a meal. So why would you talk about go mess with a dirty woman who's been like that? I wouldn't. No, there's no way. Look here. Now, when I know you respect all hoes and you respect every heifer out in the world, you love saving. I understand you put that white flag out on the regular. I don't believe in that. Fuck them hoes. I'll fuck them down and keep it moving. So if you said I'm out here making them do what they do, no, being a hoe's a mindset.
Look, I don't.
Because you've seen women who are virgins and steal and move and act like hoes. You can't tell the difference between a hoe and a good wholesome church woman. You can't, because they move and operate in the same. They got the same mindset. Some of them just ain't got enough dicks on their meters yet in order to be classified as a hoe. Don't mean they ain't one.
Look, this only applies if we actually collectively as men feel like there is not enough women to choose from. But if you don't care about that period, then yes, sleep with whoever you want to sleep, contaminate the good group. But if we're going to sit here and complain about a woman's body count and her promiscuous history, and we got to kind of move in a certain way where that can't, or it's difficult for that to take place.
But you can't worry about a woman's body count because you'll never know the true number. A woman's not going to tell you that true number. So Hank, why do we act like women are going to be this goddamn honest and tell you, oh, I slept with 55 people, and I'm 21. They not doing that.
Well, it ain't always a verbal. It's not always a verbal indication either. It's also psychological, their body language and all these other things, the trauma that they bring. They be emotionally incapacitated in some situations or scenarios when you're in a relationship because of the experience or the imprints of other men. And they oftentimes have you measure up. It's an indicator that she had someone before you that may be outperforming you.
If you want to know how many men or women has been with, just ask her how many she thinks is too many women for a man to have slept with. If she tell you 25, 30, she's somewhere close to 25, 30. If she tell you she don't care, bro, that girl has got a marathon of penis already. So just go ahead and enjoy it while you can.
Yeah, but one man can do that much damage to a woman. One man can do that much damage to her.
Do how much damage?
A lot of damage. Ruin her.
Yeah, you might want to source whatever you're saying because it don't even make logical sense. We're talking about on the scale of having
a woman gets into a bad relationship. It only takes one bad relationship for some of these women, and they're done for. We hear it all the time. They might have 3 good relationships, but that one bad one ruined them for life. Where they don't even want to deal with men. All men are bad. All men ain't shit. You ask
that's very extreme, though. Don't you think that's an extreme case?
No, I don't.
So you're saying so one man is just and more often than not, one man is just going to take the woman over the top.
No, yeah, no, that's definitely possible for sure.
I didn't say it wasn't possible. I'm saying the likelihood of that
Is it
happening. It's
probable?
going to take a lot of experience, a lot of trauma for the woman to just be completely incapable of having a future relationship.
So Hank, real quick,
Uh-huh.
although I emphatically disagree with Kitty for hire, I think the sentiment overall is something that we spoke about before. I brought it up before too. Whereas we are perpetuating the issue, right, by sleeping with all these women in our learning years. So if we're not doing that, if men are on code, if our sons, our grandsons are on code, then this couldn't possibly be an epidemic, right? If we were on code and we just weren't doing that, and we were only behind virtuous women who aren't into that shit, then we might be better off. Because once we start smashing these joints and hauling ass, we're certainly contributing to the issue. I know I did hella damage out here that I'm been trying to reverse, but it's only but so much you can do, right? We've taken some souls, unfortunately. So,
go ahead. I'm sorry. I'll wait.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead, bro.
Why are we acting like men fucking women is doing damage to them? Like sex is some value loaded exchange. You get as much dick from me as I get pussy from you. So we not. What's fair ain't no robbery. Just because dudes out here fucking women or sleeping with women without a long-term plan, they are okay with that. Now, if you're saying if the assumption is that when men do this, that we're doing this like with some nefarious or malicious ends in part as a whole, then I have to categorically and vehemently push back there, because that's not what it is. If I go out here and fuck 10 bitches and they all want to fuck me, and I'm not lying to them, I'm not selling them dreams, how am I doing damage to them? I'm actually helping them because they want some dick. I want some pussy.
So hold on, let me respond to that real quick. The only reason, all right, so one of your main gripes that you brought up just now was that a woman had 2 to 3 miles of dick, and that was problematic for you. So if that's problematic for you, the what would be the remedy, right? Because how did that problem arise in the first place? From a bunch of men dipping the sausages into the sauce is what created that problem. That was your main. That was the first gripe.
Bunch of men do it. That's what started the problem. So
okay, so what we're doing, we're shifting the blame only to the women, right?
No, we're not shifting the blame only to women. Where men can come into places that they can make sure they talk to women and say, hey, you understand, like the way we moving ain't gonna work for you later on down the line, because we just got some casual shit going on. You may meet a nigga that really likes you, but when he finds out that you was a casual pass around and you done had a bunch of FWBs, he'll look at you different. But at the same time, that's not my responsibility. That's on her and her father. So we're not
trying to argue that. Well, we're not trying to argue that.
No, we did that.
We're saying that if that was an option, that the men are upfront and honest. There is a study out there that indicates that when men are doing that, being upfront and honest about, hey, look, it ain't going nowhere, I just want to box, the chances of them reaching the outcome they want sexually drops about 60 to 70%. So men are kind of not doing that.
Yeah.
So, Dara, you want us to be honest with women who don't come in honest? Who come in off of
I don't want you to yield your standards to the standards of a woman. If a woman lowers her standards, I expect for us to be men and leaders and still hold our standards. So we should be able to keep our honesty regardless of a woman that's not honest. If we want to call ourselves.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not gonna be honest with a hoe. I'm gonna lie to a hoe, because a hoe don't deserve shit from me. Nothing. So if I deem you a hoe, if I categorize you as a hoe, you get no truth from me. Now you're a real one, I'll be honest with you. I'll be upfront with you. I'll be forthright with you. But I'm not going to sit there and trust a hoe. I don't expect the hoe to trust me.
Well, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about women who are not hoes that actually want relationships.
Again, did you not hear what I said earlier? I said most of these women are prostitutes and hoes.
Well, can you give me the stats or numbers to substantiate that? Because I think we just
I say about 75% of these heifers are hoes.
So 75% of the women are whores.
Yes, sir. That's what I said.
Hey, no, I can give you a stat that says the average woman.
That don't even mathematically sound right with all the how many women are married in the United States. Are you talking about all the single women?
No. Hold on. Who you said the single was?
It's a lot of hoes married.
I'm just trying to get an accurate.
Got married hoes.
That's why. What percentage of them end in divorce?
What's the purpose of lying to them?
Well, Marcus, bro, you gotta look at it like this though. A lot of men have to lie to women. There's a very small group of men that can go tell women, like, listen, All I'm trying to do is smash, have a good time. We'll vibe. We can take trips. We can go eat. They not going for that with most men, but they will go for that for the men like they looking for. Like the guy that's their type, the one that's exciting, got the status, got a bag, take care of himself. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, his experience with women, they'll take that from them. But a regular nigga could never. He got to go in bringing dates, candy and flowers to the first date. Good morning text. Now he got to do all that extra shit to convince her to settle for him because she can't get the dude she wants.
But those men, right? I understand that part. But those men, from what I've heard, they kind of argue that they want to keep the woman when they doing all of that. They're not trying to just hit and move on. Am I mistaken? And they're not making that argument.
I don't.
Like the
I don't
argument
think
that I'm hearing is if they do
disagree.
get this type of woman, that she's always gonna leave. She always gonna divorce them. She gonna leave. Like they not. So I still don't get why they would be lying. Because if they actually want to be with her, then they telling her maybe they could be together. If they don't want to be with her, she didn't plan on staying with them no way.
Yeah, I think the game is different now. I think dudes are coming straight out and just saying, "Man, I just want to crack. I just want to kick it."
Actually, not.
Nah, I believe Willie on that one. Most dudes ain't really gonna be able to get that off. I
mean,
truly
they might not be able to
that-
get it off, but that's what they're doing, though. You know what I'm saying?
Honesty is not there, like you think it is.
Yeah,
I think the honesty is coming from the opposite side. The women out here
probably not in real
whores.
life. I would say, yeah, maybe not in real life, but just off the strength of what the internet is, niggas is definitely doing that. You know what I'm saying? They shooting they shot and seeing if she gonna go or not.
that's
And they
internet
just-
niggas, Viz. That's just the dudes you see. We look at the majority of men. 80% of niggas are invisible. Those are the dudes that have to come out here and lie and you're saying keep up do the representative game, pretend like they something they not to keep a woman's attention. The other 20%, they may be doing it, but again, we can't speak to the minority. The majority of men don't have the ability to go up to a woman and be 100% honest as to what their intentions are with them.
Why he don't have the ability?
Why don't they? Because they don't have the value. Wait,
the ability? Or the
no,
ball?
they don't. No, I'm sorry. They don't have the luxury. If we play the semantic game, but they don't have the ability to do it successfully. To go tell a woman like, "Hey, listen, I'm just trying to smash, even though I'm only a Walmart manager and I have 2-3 kids, and I'm not a college graduate. I'm not your ideal guy, but I still want to fuck you because my dick works and you're pretty."
So
like,
what does that do? What does that do? Whenever a man, because he believes all of women are hoes, what is he doing indirectly? He's turning everything into a transactional relationship.
Wait a second.
And then you get guys like Hank that says all of them are transactional.
Well,
all relationships are transactional. What are you talking about?
Transactional on the sexual transaction.
Well, wait. To be clear,
what do you think men get with women just to be platonic?
Yeah, I think I agree with Kenny, which is wild. But I just want to be clear. I don't believe that all women are hoes. I do believe that a large majority, I would say 51% of them are or have been, but I'm not going to sit here and say that the majority of women are currently hoes now.
No.
As far as relationships being transactional, Kenny's absolutely right. Women's feelings are attached to a mood. And like that mood is how they feel now based on, a bunch of different things. Like, when was the last time he did something for me? What's he do to me? So if everything is transact, you have to maintain that shit. Like, you have to maintain the things that make that woman like you. Women all the time say, don't introduce me to a vibe you can't maintain. That's because if you can't maintain it, she won't like you. But the dude that she actually genuinely wants, that man just has to breathe and she will be okay and be on his program. And that's just not the majority of men.
I think that I'll piggyback on what you said, Willie, because I think from Darwin's perspective, the assumption is that most women are wife material, and that's wrong. Most people are evenly matched.
That's not what I said.
No,
I don't think that's what he said.
I'm paraphrasing what I took from what you said, because your stance is coming from the fact that the female demographic, because they have a vagina, is just ready to be married. The statistics tell you that in this country, women are not mentally capable of holding down relationships long term. They're not wives. They're able to get married, but they're not able to sustain. I would say that from what Willie is saying, I don't know if I agree with this or not, but 80% of men don't exist or don't give women what they, I guess, desire. I would argue that's mutual on both ends, because 80% of women are basic, they're immature, they're erratic, they're neurotic. They don't have the maturity to maintain a relationship of the magnitude of marriage. Most can get married, but
What
you can.
do you
See,
know what the
Darwin,
term,
right after your response, we're gonna run a clip.
do you know what the term idol means?
Idle,
So the
yeah.
women who haven't been raised to be married, or they haven't jumped over to the extreme of being promiscuous, I consider those women idle. And when I say idle, they're in an ideal situation where they meet a man who can determine whether they actually are suitable for marriage. And the only way to do that is to actually position yourself as a male suitor and I'm gonna use one of Trav Smooth's word, malleable. If she's impressionable enough so you can push her towards being wife material out of the idle position. But what happens if we're coming in finessing, more often than not, we're pushing her to the promiscuous phase in the transactional side, because men by default coming in are not even looking to get into a marriage in those circumstances. So what does she do? You tell her that you might be, but internally you're not, and then it becomes a sexual transaction, and then you're off to the next, and then she's off to the next guy to gamble there.
Well,
So it becomes a repeated cycle.
You're killing your own argument, because if you're in the presence of a woman who really holds herself to a wife standard, there's no.
I didn't say she held herself to a wife standard. Remember, I said she was idle.
Okay, so in the idle position, if she was more on one side, if she's idle and she's malleable, as you said, I don't think that any man could position her to lower her standards or
Oh
manipulate.
yeah, a woman who's malleable in an idle position can be pushed either left or right.